Latina's Diary is a documentary series that narrates captivating stories of 12 Latin American women living in Calgary. In 10 episodes, these women, having come from 6 countries in the Caribbean and Latin America, will talk about their experiences as newcomers and immigrants in Canada. Through a digital storytelling format, the protagonists tell stories of hope, dreams, strength, and empowerment in everyday life. Gabby, an Argentinian woman who started a new chapter of her life in Calgary, talks about the challenges, experiences, achievements, frustrations, and adventures in her Canadian journey. Anna, an international student in Calgary, explains why, after finishing her bachelor's degree in Mexico, she and her husband came with their baby girl looking for better opportunities in life. Griselle talks about her love story as one of the main reasons she came to Canada. She feels that she is not from here or from there, but that she is where her heart is.
Ella está donde está su corazón.
Her stories are full of learning about her journey in 3 different provinces since 2018. Catalina narrates her adventures as a newcomer in Calgary. She explains how she and her husband sold everything they had in Chile and came to live the Canadian dream, despite doubts and uncertainties. In her stories, she describes how in a couple of weeks she had to learn to take the bus, get to know the city, and start from zero. Carmen, from Cuba, talks about her experience in Calgary as one of the biggest challenges she ever faced. She shows frustration about her inability to express her emotions, ask questions about daily life, or even see a doctor in another language. She hopes that in some years she will be able to express herself fluently in English. Leslie shares her stories about the decision to return to Canada after leaving Montreal when she went back to her homeland. She tells us that when she was back in Mexico, she missed her Canadian life. She decided to move back and start a new life in Calgary. Ignacia takes us to her daily life as a teenage mother and as a mental health nurse waiting for the validation of her credentials. To make ends meet as a single mother, she shares her strategies and efforts as a call center worker. Frances describes a Canadian journey that has been an encounter with herself, a mourning, and a reinvention. She shares her experience as a new mother in Calgary and how this became her biggest attachment to live in this country. Paula shares her stories in Montreal and Calgary. She shows how living in Canada has been a dream come true. The pages of her diary show her love for Canada, as she says,
Mi corazón tiene 3 partes.
"My heart has 3 parts, Venezuela, Colombia, and Canada," referring to the countries in which she was born, lived for a long time, and immigrated some months ago. Patricia is another international student in Calgary. One of her stories is about her discovery of restaurants and stores where she found her favorite Mexican flavors.
Enchiladas, nopales, and chiles poblanos.
Gabriella shares her adventures as a former journalist who came to Calgary through a love story. She shares her effort to promote Mexican art and culture with a folkloric ballet. Laura, the director and producer of the documentary series, shares her idea of putting together the stories as a documentary and not as a book. She's a sociologist who came to Calgary a couple of years ago. Working as a volunteer with an immigrant association, she learned about other immigrant women's challenges and dreams, some of them not that different from hers. She decided to develop a project to tell these stories. Over 10 episodes, these women take us through their Canadian journey, their immigration processes and motivations, their challenges around food, housing, weather, and transportation, their learnings about the health and education systems, as well as their efforts to get a job or become a student. They share snapshots of being part of a multicultural society and their experiences and feelings of rootedness, uprooting, limbo, and nostalgia. Latina's Diary shows the stories of 12 Latinas, but echoes the lives of many others. It mirrors the journey of strength, hope, and empowerment of thousands of immigrants in Canada.